What's up, everybody? This is Marvel Cinematic University. Anthony Canton the third here. Also, Jake Christie. Jake, what's up, man?
Nothing much. We just recorded an awesome pod that's coming out tomorrow. Yeah, just happy to talk about something else quickly.
Yes. As we kind of jump into some news that happened yesterday, both things James Gunn related. First, let's get to the main one. James Gunn, along with Peter Safran, is running DC Studios. This kind of came as a shock to the comic book fandom world. This was not expected. I remember thinking about maybe a year ago when the Suicide Squad came out and how good it was, and it seemed like James Gunn wanted to be more involved with DC. And I had just thought at the time, like, oh, sure, I could see him doing more projects creatively, but it was brought up by people on the internet like, hey, is it going to be a situation where he might want to run the thing? And I'm like, I was thinking, I don't know if he seems like somebody who wants to do a lot of things. Lo and behold, a year later, here he is running DC Studios on the creative side. Jake, what do you think of this news?
I think it's a really awesome decision. Having someone who's like a creative force. I mean, I think more creatively forceful than like Kevin Feige. I'm a bit surprised because I assume that he would want to keep doing his own projects. But I imagine he'll find a way to still be hands on in the ways that he can be. But yeah, it made me a lot more excited for the upcoming slate of DC stuff, just because the thing that I was worried about is that like when they kept trying to find their own Kevin Feige, it felt like they kept finding people who like didn't have a creative voice. And I think that that's like the business side of it is obviously big part of it, but like the thing that Kevin Feige brings is the unified creative voice, and so that is more important to my enjoyment of the stuff than whether or not they make smart business decisions.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for me, it's the passion of James Gunn for not only the characters, especially if you think about something like Peacemaker with some of the more obscure characters and how much care that he put into putting those on screen with that and the Suicide Squad and what he intends to do after that. I think just from the creative side, it's something that DC clearly has lacked in this amount of time that has passed where it's been too many chefs in the kitchen, as we alluded to in the Black Adam review the other day, and this kind of now makes things probably more cohesive. And you have a mind that at least I feel like you can trust. And now that he has the backing of the business side, we will see how all of this goes. What the continuity is going to be interesting. At least this much is clear, and this much is sure that they have a chance to actually set things right now, as opposed to what we have been thinking with Black Adam and bringing Superman back and everything like that. Now you can see something more cohesive coming out of this, and I look forward to seeing what they're going to cook up. I'm sure there's going to be a Peacemaker season 2, and anything that goes
Uh,
beyond that, it should be
and
exciting.
we'll know how much control he has when it's announced that Amelia Harcourt is the highest paid actress in the DCEU and she's in everything. I kid. Shouts to shouts to him. I don't know what that check she got, Jennifer Holland got for Black Adam was, but it wasn't nothing. I mean, be if you're gonna be a husband like James Gunn. Let me just say that.
There you go. And it's gonna be very fascinating, because I think there has always been the conversation about DC generally, and they have so many iterations of what they're doing, both TV side and film side, and what that's gonna look like now with just a singular person, along with, I'm sure, help to figure these things out and kind of make everything at least make a little bit more sense. Because I think, just because of, if you think about the CW stuff, the HBO Max stuff, and some of the stuff that they're doing just overall, it's so all over the place with, and that tends to happen with these things. Marvel TV had that thing with the Netflix shows, and they're in a similar spot now. DC is. So to see where that goes is kind of exciting. It really is. And there are I did find one thing interesting in the statement that was made by both Peter and James, is they referenced a lot of characters, but they didn't reference the Flash. So clearly there's some stuff that has to get ironed out there. So we will, not only this show, but everybody will be keeping an eye on what happens with Ezra Miller and everything going on with them. So it's going to be interesting. James Gunn's a busy man. This is a 4-year deal, and before he even gets started with that, he has a couple of things to promote on the Marvel side, as we got a first look at a special presentation, the second one, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. And this seems, in the brief teaser that we got, that it's gonna be a lot of fun. Jake, what were your first impressions of the teaser?
I mean, I think it's just exactly what it's advertised. Very low stakes. Um, just like a fun little diversion. And yeah, the plot of it, as much as we know, seems awesome. I'll give you the honors of saying it out loud.
Yes, and the plot seems to be that Peter Quill seems to be down on his luck after not being able to find Gamora. So Drax and Mantis believe that the best way to cheer him up is to find and kidnap Kevin Bacon. Ooh, and Kevin Bacon is actually in this, as we see him get scared of both Drax and Mantis. This was a ton of fun to see on screen, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what that whole shebang is going to be. How you feel about Kevin Bacon being in this as Kevin Bacon?
It's really funny, and I think that it's an interesting way to go with it because I think we really haven't seen is Star Lord returning to Earth. And I think that what this sets up is him, because his picture of Earth is still what he remembers when he was like 8, and it's still colored by that. So he thinks that Kevin Bacon is, of course, the coolest person alive. Not that Kevin Bacon is not still extremely cool, but I think that like the way that it's going to force him to realize that maybe Earth wasn't the way he thought it was, maybe he was just 8, and I think that that's a really fun thing to set up.
Yes, yes, for sure. And I think the one thing that I also noticed from the teaser was, holy crap, Mr. Groot seems a little buff. He done buffed up.
Buff Groot.
Yeah, he's just that whatever is in that sap has got him going. So the dude is just jacked. My goodness gracious. Can't wait to see that. It should be a lot of fun. I think how I would describe this is the calm before the storm. And the storm is Guardians 3, as it looks to be not only the final film of James Gunn at Marvel Studios for the foreseeable future, but I think what's going to happen with a lot of these characters, and Gunn has hinted at it, the finality of not only what he's been doing, but the finality of some of these characters. There's going to be some people not returning after this next film. So I think to get something low stakes and kind of have a little fun before the waterworks come this upcoming May should be very interesting. Jake, do you have any thoughts on what you think about the finality of what the at least this
Yeah.
version of the Guardians of the Galaxy will be?
I think that obviously someone's gonna die or someone's. I don't need them to go overboard with it. I think that too many times death of a character that's loved is used as a shortcut for stakes.
Yeah,
And like I only really need one of I don't need any of them to die, but like I don't need them to kill off like half the Guardians in order for it to feel like the end, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And so obviously a lot of everyone speculates that it's gonna be Drax because of Dave Bautista's contentious relationship with Marvel. And I think that that's correct speculation. I think he's the one who's gonna die.
yes, yes. I believe it's him. I also believe it's possible that there will be more, but I just
Yeah,
don't know.
I
I
can
just don't know
imagine
the who. But I just know
I
there'll
can
be
imagine
more.
like Nebula dying. I don't think that they would like someone like a Rocket Raccoon or Groot. I don't. Well, they wouldn't kill Groot because they've already done that.
Yeah,
And Rocket, I don't think they would do just because, frankly, they bring Bradley Cooper in for 2 days and they get to say the movie is and Bradley Cooper. So like that is just a ridiculously dumb thing to do.
No, no, it absolutely it would be bold. I'll say that much. If
Yeah,
Rocket gets got, but I would say that Peter Quill is more likely than a Rocket, in my personal
yeah.
opinion, on as far as that's concerned. So listen, get ready, guys. This is November 25th. and this will be the
Mhm.
last thing that we get from Marvel Studios for 2022.
Yes.
And I'm guessing that nothing till either February or March. If I just my reading the tea leaves myself, that we won't get anything until then. So
Well, I mean, I think Ant Man's gonna be the first thing back.
well, Ant Man will in terms of movies, yes, Ant Man
Yeah.
in February. So
Uh, yeah.
we'll get that first, and then we'll see what's to come with Secret Invasion and
I
Echo.
I don't think it's an accident that I feel like this is the last big thing going on Disney Plus, and I don't think it's an accident that, of course, in December Disney has their biggest movie since like Endgame in Avatar: The Way of Water. I don't think that that's an accident that they're. I've heard people speculate about that that's like that they're clearing the decks, and I
Yeah,
think that that's probably true. So yeah,
and it makes sense. Marvel's going to be as always is going to be a huge fixture in things, especially 2023. They have three big films, and also they have a bunch of shows that are going to come out, and presumably special presentations as well. So yeah, a lot of James Gunn news. He is heavy in the streets right now, so be excited to see what he does coming up next. But thank you guys for watching this. Appreciate you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you already know what to do as far as the audio is concerned, so I ain't even got to tell you. So for Jake Christie, I'm Anthony Canton III, Marvel Cinematic University.